Welcome back. For Tuesday, we're working out of our Heritage History, Science, Health Activity book, the one with the map on the front. And last week we left off on page 80. So today's focus is about weather, beginning with page 81. So our goal today is to learn the lessons that go through page 85, I believe, all about weather. Okay, so I went and found us an old science book. This is one from a long time ago, Enjoying God's World. Isn't that a nice picture? Lots of pretty things about the world. And in this lesson today, you're going to learn about the air and things that have to do about weather. So look at the picture. You see maybe a granddad and a grandson, and they're having a nice fishing trip together. So I want you to learn with me today about air. Air is real. Air is all around us. We cannot see it, we cannot taste or smell it, but it is there. When it moves, we can feel it. We have learned that air is matter. See that word in dark black bold print? Matter. That means that it is real and takes up space. Air is a group of gases that are mixed together in special amounts. God designed air with carefully measured amounts of gases so that people, animals, and plants can live. The air around us has the perfect amount of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other important gases. Plants need carbon dioxide. Do you remember who needs oxygen? We do. People and animals. Now we'll learn about what the atmosphere is. Okay? The atmosphere is the protective band of gases around the earth. There is a band of air around our earth. Do you see in the picture that band? That is called the atmosphere. It's a protective band, like a blanket, that keeps our planet safe and warm. Our atmosphere shields the earth from getting too hot, but it also keeps us from getting too cold. During the daytime, the earth absorbs the sun's heat. See how the earth is facing towards the sun right now? That's daytime. So it's drawing in that heat, which makes energy. But at night, the earth gives off its heat into the atmosphere, which keeps the warmth close to the earth. If our atmosphere did not work that way, all life on earth would freeze. God gave us the right kind of atmosphere. It gives our planet the best temperatures and the perfect kinds of gases for life. Aren't you glad God designed the atmosphere the way He did? So how does the atmosphere make our sky blue? Look at that beautiful sky. It appears blue, doesn't it? Our daytime sky is a beautiful blue because of how the atmosphere works. Our atmosphere is made up of molecules in the air. The closer we are to the earth, the more molecules there are in the air. If we were to leave the earth and go beyond the atmosphere into space, there would be no molecules. When we look at the sky, we are looking at sunlight shining through the air. Light is made up of every color in the rainbow. We learned that in our chapter 9 science, didn't we? When it shines through the air, the color we see the most is blue. The closer we are to the earth, the lighter the blue in the sky. If we could stand on top of the highest mountain, the sky would be a darker blue because there are fewer molecules for the sun to shine through. In space, the sky would be completely dark because there is no air for the sun to shine through. So, before we move into weather, let's check your activity book page number 81. Do you see we're at a farm in this picture? Do you see there's animals, people, and plants? There is also things, okay, like the barn. So it's not a person, a place, or, I'm sorry, it's not a person, an animal, or a plant. So the directions asked you to catch your breath. Circle it if it breathes oxygen. Draw a rectangle around it if it takes in carbon dioxide, and color your picture. Now, if it breathes in oxygen, so you should have circled all the people and all the animals. Check. Did you do that? Now, what would you draw a rectangle around? Well, plants, okay, because they do not have lungs. So you should have drawn a rectangle around your plants. They take in carbon dioxide. Now we move into the weather pages. So there's a couple of weather pages for you to do today for practice. But first I want to tell you about the weather. Look at this pretty diagram. It's showing the wind and water and heat. Okay, I know it's a diagram because there are words with lines pointing to pictures. So it's explaining what these pictures are. Okay, so weather. Listen to the story about weather. Has weather ever changed your plans before? Maybe you were planning on a day outside, but it was stormy and rainy. Maybe it was too hot or cold to spend much time outside. Weather is constantly changing. Weather can be pleasant or stormy, hot or cold. Weather happens in the air that makes up our atmosphere. So we say that weather is the condition of air. What makes the weather? 3 things will always decide the weather. So look back at the diagram. Heat, water, and wind. Those 3 things always decide the weather. God designed them to work together. So we know when it's hot, we should put on sunscreen. When it's cold, we should dress with extra layers of clothing to cover our skin. Okay? We have to protect our temperature in our body. When it's raining, we need waterproof clothing on to protect us from the water. Okay, so look at how weather affected how people dressed. Okay, now wind can be helpful. So we learned last week that wind has energy. Look at the eagle soaring. You saw an example of an eagle in Bible this morning. Sailboats and ships depend on wind to help them travel on the ocean. Wind even helps birds soar in the sky. The wind carries seeds to new places to grow. Wind affects the way airplanes fly. The wind brings rain. A breeze, look at the palm trees swaying in the sky. The breeze is making them blow. A breeze is a gentle wind. It can cause a kite to fly or a flag to flutter. A gust is a strong, sudden force of wind. The force from a gust can move many things. A gust can make leaves fall from trees or lift your baseball cap off your head. A very strong wind is sometimes called a gale. So you can see that word in dark black bolded print. A gale. G-A-L-E. A gale can break tree branches or cause damage to roofs. What makes the wind blow? Look at this diagram. You see light warm air and heavy cool air. The light warm air is being up the heavy, cool air down. Cool air is heavy. Warm air is light. The light, warm air moves up off the ground. As the light air moves up, the heavy, cool air moves down to take its place. Because the air is moving, you feel the wind blowing. Listen what the Bible has to say about the weather. For lo, he that formeth the mountains and createth the wind, the Lord, the God of hosts is his name. Amos 4:13. Now let's see how you did on your weather maker. See all the words, and some have been crossed out. There is that verse I just read to you. For lo, he that formeth the mountains and careth the wind, the Lord, the God of hosts is his name. Amos 4:13. If you didn't know that verse, you could get your Bible out and look up Amos 4:13, and then you could put all your little weather blocks in the right order. Okay? Now let's talk about the water cycle. When I was in 2nd grade, I had to learn the water cycle. Do you see in the diagram, we start with the yellow arrow. Okay? The sun heats the earth's water. The water evaporates. Warm water vapor rises. Water vapor cools, forming a cloud. The cloud cools, causing rain to fall. And finally, water is used on earth and returns to the ocean. That is your water cycle. Notice it's going up, and then it comes back down. Okay? I think you're going to enjoy page 84 today. You get to go through a maze. Help the mail carrier avoid the bad weather and deliver his letters safely. Bad weather would be like a storm. It would be like hail and sleet. Now we see hail in the form of round balls of ice, and sleet is the process before it snows. It's like a wet, mushy mess. And finally, this is cut and paste. You have 5 pictures. You have a hurricane. You have a tornado. Snow. You have lightning. And this one would be called a thundercloud. So your job is to glue the severe weather pictures to the map. Do you see the H on the map? That's your high pressure, and your L is your low pressure. And so that pressure in the atmosphere can create weather systems like the ones you see down here. Let me go through them again. Thundercloud, tornado, snow, lightning, hurricane. And you have to put them on the map properly. And the next time we work out of this book, we're going to learn about the planets. And today, if your parents or grandparents were able to pick up your packet, you will have some fun sheets in there about the planets that you can do for an enrichment. Enrichment means you want to learn even more, but in a really fun, cool way. So today, I want you to go out and make it a great Tuesday. And remember, I love you, I miss you, and I'm praying for you. Have a good day, boys and girls. Bye-bye.